Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with The Dragon Prince, Book 4, Chapter 5. So last time we had kind of some information dropped. We find out a lot about Erebos, about his past, and the dragons trying to fight against him and stop him and trap him in a mirror. Well, not in a mirror, but in a prison, I guess, for lack of a better word. The mirror is the only way to watch over him while he's in there. And unfortunately, the mirror is also a way to, unfortunately, provide the possibility of freeing him. And we see at the end, he starts to taunt everyone and possess people, and things are not looking too great for anyone. And speaking of not looking great, the Sunfire Elves and the humans with them are not doing too well either. Because the person who designed the camp and everything, the encampment they're in, decided to kind of be an asshole and be culturally insensitive towards someone who was trying to, do a ritual for their mother, I believe it was. And both sides handled it wrong, but the designer or architect or whatever was definitely more in the wrong, I would say, but they both could have handled that better. But there's definitely one side that's more in the wrong. Let's leave it at that. And considering this encampment already has some issues because of the brother, Janai's brother, being, kind of racist. It's like things are just there's gonna be a boiling point, and this might be reaching it. Question is, now what? Claudia and Viren are enacting their plan, and people in the comments last time were telling me it's near death or basically death would change a person. So it's Viren's probably had a change of heart and everything, and it's sorry, but I don't see it. I mean, yes, near death experiences or whatnot, things like that are that big can definitely change your outlook on life. But if you are that, unbelievably and unrepentantly evil for that long, having gone through as many situations as he has, dealing with all kinds of shit, dragons, wars, it's I'm sorry, that's not going to change him that easily. It's not going to be that easy. Even knowing that he did, not even technically, that he did die and had to be brought back by Claudia, it's that's not going to make him change his mind and change his position on things. He might value his life more, and he might be a little more freaked out by things, but he's not going to suddenly become a good guy or regret his actions. Not that quickly, not that suddenly, not that easily. Again, he was too far gone. If he were if that happened to Claudia, I could believe it. Because Claudia was not as far gone, and I don't even believe she is now. Not as far gone enough to where something like that could still affect her, or something like that would still be able to get her back from the dark side, you could say. But again, Viren had been doing that, had been like this for so fucking long. It's not reasonable in my eyes to assume that he could just change like that. Again, like, this would definitely give him new outlooks and probably give him some trauma and shit, but it would not make him regret all of his previous actions like that. That's not believable. And I don't trust him, and I don't like him. And we see he's still showing his racism and stuff in here. Like, that's not changed. We can actively see that. We see the looks he gives Terry. He can't stand Terry. And he can't stand that Terry and Claudia are together. You can very much see that. And he's not stopping anything. He's not trying, he's not even arguing against it. Everything is still going according to plan. They're still working to save Erebos. It's like nothing's changed in all of that. It's just, I feel like it's trying to make us feel sorry for him. Like just the way certain scenes are shot and handled, it's trying to make us like think he's turning a new leaf, when it's like everything is screaming no. Everything is just like, every proper instinct is telling us that that's not actually happening. It's like the series is working against itself. It's like it's I don't know how to put it, you know? But I don't believe or trust it for a second. I don't. It doesn't come across as believable at all to me. But we'll see how this continues to go. We'll see how things continue to happen. Honestly, I still really just want Viren gone. It's like, especially with this like kind of confusing way they're handling him this season. It's like it kind of feels like they just really don't know what to do with him. They're just trying something that's just not really working here. And it doesn't feel like they know how to handle him anymore. Because it's like, you've already shown him at his worst, at his most evil. It's like, what else are you supposed to do at this point? I mean, the best option would be to just either kill him off or continue with that. But instead, they're trying something different, and it's not working. It's just confusing and making things unclear. And honestly, unless they pulled off some kind of miracle in terms of writing and everything, I don't even see a way, like, if they tried to actually redeem him, I don't see a way that would ever work. I cannot see a way that would ever actually be a good writing decision and come across as well written, natural, believable, any of that. It doesn't feel like possible with how the writing has gone in the volumes up to now and even currently. It just doesn't seem like it's a thing that could happen. It'd be like redeeming Azula from Avatar: The Last Airbender. It would just be a stupid, out-of-place decision that would make no sense. Or Ozai as well. Like, that he's a good example too. It'd be like redeeming either of them. It's just something that's not going to happen. They're too far gone. There's no hope for redemption in either of them. It's just not something you can do with the way that they're written. Trying to redeem either of them would undermine their character. because that's not how they're written. That's not how they're portrayed. They are portrayed as being beyond redemption, and Viren is the same way. So I don't see how they could do it, unless, again, they pulled off some kind of miracle of writing. But I don't see that happening. Honestly, like, I do really like this show, and I've really enjoyed this season so far, but it's not that good comparative to other shows and everything. There are a lot of other shows that are better and couldn't even pull that off. But we'll see where this goes. We'll continue to give it a chance. We'll see. But let's just get into it and hope for the best. So, when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So yeah, the little creature thing, homunculus, I think Viren called it, is actually weirdly cute. Is that just me? But yeah, so it seems like Viren, Claudia, Terry, and the homunculus are all headed in the same direction as our heroes. But Soren has been captured because he's a good guy and was trying to help the dragon from the Earthblood elf that was trying to subdue it. And I don't by any means disagree with Soren choosing to do that. It's just, obviously it didn't work out great. Rayla, meanwhile, is like really focused on the mission, and it's like there's definitely more to a lot of this. It's like I know that Rayla is going through these issues with Callum, and they just need to talk, for fuck's sake. Like, seriously, these two are just like going through so much, and there's so much tension and confusion there. They need to just talk it out. Like, I understand that it's going to be difficult, but they have to do it. Meanwhile, we have the architect facing the repercussions of her actions. And I'm glad it's showing that she was the one who was mostly in the wrong. She was the one who started the entire interaction and caused the problems in the first place. And again, the other guy didn't really handle it the best either, but they were by no means, like the architect was by no means in the right and was definitely more in the wrong. So, yeah, it makes sense, and it makes sense for Queen Janai to be the one to determine her fate. I don't think she should be, like, thrown out of the camp or, like, definitely not anything like being executed or anything. No, not by any means. She should be punished, but nothing like that. I don't know what they have to punish with or anything right now, though, so I don't know how that's going to go. Yeah, so our gang is just trying to get to the back entrance to Igneous because the front entrance isn't working, it's blocked. And those Golem Guard dudes are just, they don't know what else to do either, so they just send them on their way. Dragon Queen headed home. Things are just continuing. But yeah, I do want to briefly touch back on the technical issue that came up too. You probably saw, I posted the video yesterday about how I've become obsessed with using Opera GX and everything, how I find it to be dope, as I called it. And I've been using that since I got it a couple days ago, I've been using that exclusively instead of Chrome. But when I tried to do the window capture, it just showed a black screen, but only for Netflix. Like, I could window capture YouTube fine, but when I tried to do it for Netflix, it wouldn't work. It's something about Netflix, and specifically with Opera GX. I can window capture Netflix with Chrome, but yeah, I don't know why this is the case, but it is, and there's not really much of anything I can do about it, it seems. So either I would have to open up Chrome specifically for this every time and have to deal with, the overuse of, like, CPU and RAM and all that, which causes some stickiness in the recording and freezing and whatnot. Or I download the episodes, and I think that just might be the better option. So I'm probably going to do that from here on out. I'm probably just going to download the rest of the episodes of the season and just go with that. And probably the same with anything else that's on Netflix as well. At least until I can figure something else out that would work better. But yeah, it's just like, again, it takes up so much CPU. I had to close down Opera GX just to be able to even record with Chrome as well, because having them both up at the same time, that was not going to work. So yeah, it's pretty insane. But I just wanted to touch on that here too. Um, and yeah, we also saw in the episode, going back to that though, Callum is facing a little bit of trauma from being possessed by Erebos, which, very fair. Like, honestly, it's like, the idea of possession, I want to talk about this briefly, is honestly fucking terrifying. The idea of, like, being in your body but not having control over it, like, being present, you have consciousness, you're able to see and notice things happening, but you don't have control over your actions or your words or anything, is terrifying. It's absolutely terrifying. It kind of comes similarly to this entire question that I've had about, like, zombies and everything, and I think this was even brought up in the final season of the Walking Dead video game. What if, instead of just not being there at all anymore, what if, when you're a zombified body, not counting those, like, who, like, rose from the dead or whatever, like, if you were turned because of a zombie bite or whatnot, what if it, like, you're still in there and able to witness everything but aren't in control? Imagine how horrifying that would be. Like, if you are still conscious but have no control, no way of communicating at all, you just have to exist within that. And that would be one of the most traumatically horrifying things ever. And it's something I've always thought of with, like, zombie stuff. Like, what if the person is still in there? And it's just, it freaks me out. It freaks me out, honestly. And so it's like, you kind of wonder about, like, with possession. It's like, is that how it works? Probably. It's like, you're probably being possessed and puppeted around, but you're still there, and you're witnessing and seeing and feeling everything that's happening, and that's got to be fucking terrifying. So the idea that Callum is facing trauma and PTSD from that, it makes sense. Honestly, I would be freaked out too. And then, on top of that, him having the issues with Rayla and everything, they really need to talk. Yeah, this was a very simple episode, though, so there's not really much else to talk about. It was pretty straightforward. the question is just what's going to happen next. What's going to happen with Soren? I assume the others are going to have to rescue him. What's going to happen with the architect? What's going to happen with Viren and his group of unholy just atrocities upon nature? Except Terry. Terry's cool. And the little goblin child. They're adorable. Okay, what's going to happen with Viren and Claudia? They're the evil ones. Claudia is still able to be redeemed. Viren, I still stand by, is not. Terry is definitely able to be redeemed because I don't think he's evil at all. I think he's just with evil people at the moment. Kind of like Bolin in Legend of Korra when he was siding with Kuvira. It's like good kid siding with evil at the moment, unfortunately, and not realizing it. And then the goblin baby is just like, just a baby, just a little scrimblow, just an adorable little scrimblow, weirdly adorable, but still adorable. It's like, okay, did not have that on my Dragon Prince bingo card. But yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where all of this goes, and hopefully, hopefully it continues to be really good. I'm going to say right off the bat, though, this was the weakest episode of the season so far. I want to make that clear. I think this was the weakest episode of the season so far. Not only is there just not a lot to talk about, it just wasn't as impressive or interesting. It felt like almost like a transitional episode in a way. It just felt like it was just like meandering along rather than actually progressing anything. And the thing is, it did actually progress stuff too. I'm just saying how it feels to me. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes, and hopefully my opinions will change and things will get better. Because this was just one episode. The first 4 episodes were all really good, so hopefully the next episode is also really good. Hopefully this is just like one random episode in the middle that's just not as good. It wasn't bad or anything, it just wasn't as good. It just was weak compared to the others. Either way, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and for now, I'm Connie and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.